Hi, today I want to talk a little bit about love. What is love? Are you addicted to love? Am I addicted to love? Are we all addicted to love? What even is love? It's in everything all the time, right? It's in books, it's in movies, it's in songs. A lot of people have it on their minds all the time, but we rarely ever think about it in the way of asking what it is, or asking what are the distinctions between familial love, platonic love, universalized love, romantic love. What are the differences? Where do they lie? And then also, is it possible to be addicted to love? Is it a good or a bad thing? Is it even harmful? Those are some questions that I want to explore today. First, I want to establish some kind of foundation to work from. What is love? How can we even talk about this without establishing a basis of agreeing on what we're talking about, right? One of the first definitions that comes to mind is in Ronald de Souza's book about love. He compares it not to an emotion, but a state of being and a condition that causes us to feel certain emotions. He calls it a syndrome because it is a way of being that affects and causes other symptoms, which makes a lot of sense to me. And he also talks about how hard it is to pin down exactly what love is because it has so many contradictions in it. We hear a lot of sayings of love is kind, love is cruel, love is forgiving, love never lets things go, love is fickle, love is forever, love is heaven, love is hell. And so some even see negative aspects like possessiveness, jealousy, lying as necessary parts of love, which, I don't necessarily agree with that, but it is a very commonly held belief. A way that I see love that I agree with more is in Plato's Symposium. The first to speak, Pausanias, says that love has the power to either make us good or bad. He also saw love of the body as a sort of false love and love of the mind as sort of real love. And I also really like Simone de Beauvoir's definition of love, which is that it is a way of enriching ourselves and the people around us and the world around us together. And she also had a big emphasis on the idea that love is not meant to complete you. It's supposed to be two complete individuals coming together and enriching themselves. Love is not the whole sundae. Love is the cherry on top of the sundae. And so now that we have that foundation, we can start thinking about the fun stuff. Is love an addiction? Let's talk about it. First, I want to establish what classifies an addiction according to the New York Academy of Sciences is 1, life interference, 2, withdrawal, 3, tolerance building up over time, and then 4, repeated attempts to quit. And something else it has in common with addiction is the binge intoxication phase, and then the withdrawal phase, and then the constant anticipating and preoccupation in the mind of when you're going to get your next hit, and also relapsing, which is similar to repeated attempts to quit. In the brain as well, many scientific studies have found that the same areas of the brain are activated when we are in love and when we snort cocaine. So I think this science is definitely all something we should very much consider in this conversation. But now I want to talk more on the philosophical side of things about whether love being an addiction is good or bad. So the last question I want to talk about is love good or bad? Is it being an addiction good or bad? So first I want to say there are definitely certain types of love that are more likely to be felt as an addiction. I think when love is coming from a place of need, it will probably portray itself and feel like an addiction because it's something that you need. When love is true and genuine and deep, I think it is more likely to not feel like an addiction because you don't need it. It's something that is a pleasant addition to your life. So I think it definitely can be an addiction, and I think love can definitely be harmful, but I think the harmful love is not true love, because love is not just a fixation or an attachment, it is a concern for others, right? And so when it turns into something else, I believe that it is no longer love. It is something that is being mistaken for love. And so my answer would be that love is good, but it can make people behave in questionable ways. And when it's coming from the wrong places, it can be an addiction and it can be very harmful. Ultimately, it's up to the individual to decide all of these things. These are just my thoughts. Hopefully you got something out of this. I try to put my own spin on it, but I feel like everything there is to be said about love has already been said. Thank you for listening anyway, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.